YouTube and welcome to yet another Doctor Who audio review. In this audio review I'm reviewing Dust Breeding. As you can see it's got quite an atmospheric cover. So yeah, I'm going to do the usual procedure where I look at the cover, then the booklet and then the discs and then my thoughts on this McCoy story. Okay, so let's have a look at the cover. So we have the Doctor Who logo there, and we have Sylvester McCoy in the shadows, which really does reflect his Doctor in the later seasons. Then we have a krill there, then we have a sort of refinery place, and then we have some dust and the planet Dushan 331, I think, starring Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred. An original audio drama on a double CD. And on the back we've got basically the plot, so feel free to have a pause and have a read about what the story is about. And the running time for this is 110 minutes. Just quickly show you the spine. We've got the same picture of Sylvester McCoy. There we have Dust Breeding, number 21. So that's basically the cover. Now I'm going to show you guys the booklet, as I've said, in the disc. Okay, so here is the booklet. So if we just open it up, we have some information about the story, who composed the music and stuff like that. Then we have some pictures of the cast. You may see Caroline John and Jeffrey Beavers there, but Caroline John is not playing Liz Shaw. So yeah, we've got some other cast members there, and them holding a krill's head and a sort of scream, sort of blow up doll. If the camera will actually do it. Yeah, just about there. On the other page we have a radio time sort of page, so to say if this story was actually broadcast. As you can see, it is a 4-part story. And finally we have some advertisement for a previous Big Finish and some upcoming stories and some of the Bernice Summerfield adventures at the top there. And then we have some advertisement for the novels and Doctor Who magazine. Then we have Doctor Who writer's notes by Mike Tucker. So yeah, now if we look at the actual CD now, or the discs. Both discs are exactly the same. It's like the surface of Dushan 331. And then if we just look behind that, we have a picture of Sylvester McCoy and the krill, because Sylvester McCoy has already faced the krill in a novel, Storm Harvest. Yeah, so this is his second encounter with the krill. So yeah, this has been the booklet and the discs. Now I'm going to go into my thoughts on this story. So, what are my thoughts on Dust Breeding? Dust Breeding is a rather atmospheric story in parts 1 to 3, but in part 4 it just loses it with its rather big and stupid revelation. The sound design is okay, but the only major wow factor in the sound department is the screaming sand, which has a nice little fairy tale sort of background story. What the locals think it's sort of the screaming Daleks or something like that. It's just brilliant. The standout moment in this story is probably part 2 sort of cliffhanger with the Master. My overall thoughts on this story: the story is surprisingly enjoyable. The actual trailer on Big Finish's website makes it look like it is a fantastic story, which it sort of is, but part 4, as I've said, not very good. It's surprisingly enjoyable. Pitting McCoy's Doctor against 3 adversaries. The Master's reveal is much like Earthshock's sort of reveal of the Cybermen, but the story does flop in episode 4. It seems like it was just throwing ideas at you. The krill themselves, they are sort of a major part in part 3, but I still think they could have done a bit more with them, or possibly introduce them a bit earlier to the story. But they're quite a terrifying adversary, but they don't exactly get enough to make them go, "Oh, I don't like them," but they do have some quite horrific moments. So, Dust Breeding is definitely a patchy story, but I still find it quite enjoyable. And I'm going to rate it a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, some of you guys may know I rated Rings of Akaten 6.5. that may give you a clue on what this story is like. If you like The Rings of Akaten, then definitely possibly check this one out. If you're a big art fan, if you love art and you love Doctor Who, then try that out, because it is about art. It is an arty story with selling off of paintings and stuff. And I love the idea of linking the painting, the scream in it, because it sort of links in with the sand and stuff. It's just quite, it's got some good concepts, but the story doesn't exactly cover it as well as it should. The dialogue isn't that brilliant, but yeah, some characters are really over the top, like Caroline John's character, but it's not her performance, it's the dialogue. I think Caroline John does a fantastic thing. But the story's still okay. It's patchy, as I've said, but I would definitely listen to the trailer, which is a lot better for the actual story, I suppose, and see whether you want to risk it, because it is patchy in places. But episode 4 is definitely, you know, the story itself, 1 to 3 are actually in my books about 7, 8 out of 10. But part 4 just made it drop to 6.5 just because it was so stupid, and it was just literally throwing stuff at you. Well, ideas anyway. So yeah, this has been my review of Just Breeding. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. My next review, I believe, is the War Doctor, which is going to be quite interesting, because I haven't done a figure review in quite some time. So yeah, join me in that review. But for now, guys, stay brilliant, and have a fantastic time, whatever you're doing in the day or week. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. So goodbye.